You know what time it is now that we've all finished binge-watching the first volume of Stranger Things Season 4? It's Easter egg time, so stay tuned to find out some small details and references that you may have missed during Season 4 Part 1 that connect back to key moments in the prior seasons. Stay tuned to find out all the insider details, along with everything you need to know regarding Part 2. Trust us, you don't want to miss this. First up, Callie, Eleven's lost sister, who we have seen appear in earlier seasons, is one of the answers to the clue in Brenner's crossword puzzle. Season 4 of Stranger Things begins with a flashback to 1979, when Dr. Brenner was still experimenting on children at Hawkins National Lab. Before leaving for work, he times himself with the day's crossword puzzle from the newspaper. Shiva's wife, a reference to the Hindu god, is one of the hints. Brenner's response is the name of a powerful Hindu deity, Kali. Kali is also the name of Eleven's lost sister, whom she discovered in Season 2 when she fled to Chicago for a brief period of time. Kali hasn't returned to the story yet. She wasn't even in the Hawkins National Lab massacre flashbacks because she had already fled when the incident occurred in the timeline. Given Kali's successful escape and this reference in the 4th season's opening scene, she could be appearing in either Part 2 of Season 4 or the show's 5th and final season. Next up, Billy first heard the clock chime when he was possessed by the Mind Flayer in Season 3. A new character, Chrissy, hears and sees a strange clock in the days leading up to her death in the first episode. Though the children already believe Vecna is a new threat to their small town, the 7th episode titled The Massacre at Hawkins Lab reveals that Vecna's real name is Henry Creel, and he was the first child experimented on at Hawkins Lab, earning him the designation 001. Vecna's presence can be seen in earlier seasons now that you know he's been a puppeteer of everything within the Upside Down that's been attacking Eleven and her friends. The clock chime noise, however, was first heard in Season 3's Episode 2. Billy was physically transported to the Upside Down after he was possessed by the Mind Flayer, where the chiming began. With all of the Season 4 revelations, we now know that the Mind Flayer was just another tool Vecna used to find and kill Eleven. It will be very interesting to see how it unfolds in the next part of the season. In the 4th season, Benny's restaurant serves as a reminder of the diner owner's heinous murder in Season 1. Lucas and the basketball team celebrate their victory in Season 4, Episode 2, with a party at Benny's diner, which is very familiar. This is where Eleven visited after escaping Hawkins National Lab. In Season 1, the first episode of Stranger Things, Benny was murdered by a Brenner employee. The murder was staged to look like he had taken his own life. Benny's death was one of the first tragic and direct acts of violence on the show. The fact that his diner is now destroyed and overrun by drunk teenagers emphasizes how much has changed since the pilot episode. Next up, Will's link to reality while in the Upside Down is featured in Season 4 for the same reason. Music, as we learned in the absolutely iconic Running Up That Hill scene in Stranger Things Season 4, Episode 4, is essential for survival when Vecna is on the hunt. The music activates a brain pathway that interferes with Vecna's ability to keep his victims trapped in the Upside Down, which is how Max, Sadie's sink, escaped his clutches. It turns out that this is also what allowed Will to survive in the Upside Down for so long in Season 1. Will's favorite song, according to one TikTok user, was Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash, which he happened to sing to himself throughout his time in the Upside Down. He eventually got around to playing it out loud. Given that Stranger Things Season 4's grandfather clock chime has been present since the first season, it wouldn't be a stretch to believe Will's constant singing had plot relevance, not just in that it helped the others find him, but also that it kept him from becoming completely possessed by the Upside Down. This isn't the first time we've heard of the Hellfire Club. Dustin, Lucas, and Mike have joined the Hellfire Club, a D&D club led by Eddie Munson in the first episode of Stranger Things Season 4. However, this isn't the first time a Hellfire Club has been mentioned. Dustin mentions wanting Will's X-Men 134 comic in the first episode of Stranger Things Season 1. That issue pits the X-Men against the Hellfire Club, a group that seeks to exploit Jean Grey's telekinetic and telepathic abilities. That's not surprising, given that the entire plot of this show revolves around Eleven's telekinetic abilities. What's interesting is that in X-Men, the Hellfire Club is a villain. In Stranger Things Season 4, our Hellfire Club are the good guys, who are prosecuted for being different and misunderstood, just like our favorite X-Men. Perhaps subversive foreshadowing? Aside from the plot parallels, Jean's name is also similar to Eleven's given name, Jane. Finally, this reference appears in both Season 1 and 4. When Eleven first starts living secretly in the Wheeler house in Season 1, she wanders into Nancy's room and plays with Nancy's ballerina music box before looking at her Tom Cruise poster. When Robin, Nancy, Steve, and Eddie are in the Upside Down in Stranger Things Season 4, they go to the Wheeler house to retrieve Nancy's guns. When they walk in, Robin does exactly what Eleven did, indicating that they are in a different time. The week Will disappeared in 1983. Nancy pieces together a photograph of Barb, Shannon Purser, later in Season 1, which leads her to believe that the Demogorgon is real. In Season 4, she's the one who pieces together an image of the Creel house. Realizing the connection between Victor Creel reveal, Robert Englund, and Vecna, foreshadowing that she, once again, has the answers, which Vecna acknowledges in the epilogue. Now with Part 1 over, here are all the details you need to know about Part 2. Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1 ended with a shocking reveal about the show's main antagonist Vecna, and it won't be long before the grotesque upside-down villain returns to haunt us. Part 2 is almost here, and we're looking forward to another showdown between Vecna and Eleven, after she regains her powers, of course. Eleven and the squad have been absent from our screens for nearly 3 years, but the gap between Season 4 Part 1 and Part 2 is only a few weeks, so the answers will be coming very shortly. So when can we expect Part 2 to grace our screens? Stranger Things Season 4 Part 2 will be available on Friday, July 1st, 2022. This comes just over a month after the first installment of the season was released. Season 4 was delayed from its original 2021 release date due to COVID-19, as David Hopper revealed during an Instagram Q&A. But with the final season completed, we can safely assume that the final 2 Season 4 episodes will be released on time. Additionally, Stranger Things Season 4 Part 2 contains only 2 episodes, following the first 7 that aired in Part 1. Fans don't have to worry about not getting enough Stranger Things, because both episodes are feature length, with Episode 7 clocking in at 1 hour and 25 minutes, and Episode 9 clocking in at 2 hours and 30 minutes. The latter will be by far the longest episode of the show ever produced, lasting longer than most theatrical releases. Who will be returning? As things stand, all the big players are expected to return and continue their efforts to stop Vecna and close the Upside Down for good. Millie Bobby Brown, Eleven, Caleb McLaughlin, Lucas, Finn Wolfhard, Mike, Noah Schnapp, Will, Gaten Matarazzo, Dustin, and Sadie Sink, Max, are among the cast members that will obviously be returning. Thankfully, they'll have help in the form of Steve, Joe Keery, Robin, Maya Hawke, Nancy, Natalia Dyer, and Jonathan, Charlie Heaton, along with Argyle, Eduardo Franco, and Eddie, Joseph Quinn. The newcomers. We can't wait to see how the gang all bands together to stop Vecna in Part 2. So, is there a trailer out for Part 2? Yes. On June 9th, 2022, Netflix released a trailer for the second installment of Stranger Things Season 4. The footage suggests that Vecna and Eleven will face off again in the final 2 episodes. Furthermore, it appears that the teens and Hawkins are once again in grave danger, with Lucas Sinclair and Max Mayfield in danger. Finally, Jim Hopper appears to be making a comeback in the upcoming episodes. Will he ever see Eleven again? Finally, will there be another season after this one? Thankfully, yes. Season 5 of Stranger Things has already been confirmed. The 5th season will conclude the central story that has been told since 2016. Indeed, the show's creators, the Duffer Brothers, recently revealed to SFX that they know what the ending is, and it's conceivable that it changes. Matt Duffer said, "But I think it's unlikely, because it's one of those endings that just feels and always has felt right." And there you have it. Everything you need to know about Stranger Things, and then some small moments and details you may have missed that connect the 4th season to the prior episodes. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below.